So I decided I wanted to do something different today, and that different thing that I wanted to do today was talk about Machamp. Machamp is a duck thing. I think he's a duck. He's definitely got a duck bill, and his eyes kind of go to his lips. Like I'm not sure how that works, but and his hair is also his eyebrows, which I'm just now realizing because I'm looking at pictures of him, and he has like a mohawk that's made out of bone or made out of, I don't know, hair maybe. I don't think it's hair, but it might be hair. Anyways, so he's this thing, and he's got legs, but he's also got 4 arms, which is kind of like a thing because people were questioning like why, oh, maybe Machamp and or Machoke and Graveler were supposed to trade, and the 4 arms from the Graveler go to the Machamp, and the skin fleshiness goes to Golem, and so they kind of swap their pieces back and forth. And I don't know the validity of that claim, but I do know that Machamp has 4 arms, and it's questionable why he has 4 arms, because they're there, but they definitely don't look like they're practical. Alright? Because I looked it up, and one of his Pokedex entries does say that he can throw 1,000. Yeah, let me read it off here. It's 4 ruggedly developed arms can launch a flurry of 1,000 punches in just 2 seconds. I don't know why they chose 2 seconds. They could have just said 500 punches in 1 second, or like by slowing down in general, you're gonna, have the last second be less punches. So they could have probably had 550 punches in 1 second or something like that. But I compared that to a human being, and a human being can, the fastest that a human being has punched in a second is 20 punches in a second, and I am almost 100% certain that those are not very powerful punches. But it also says in this other thing here, this other Pokédex entry, if I can find it now with my eyeballs, it says it can knock a train it can knock a train flying with a punch. Alright, I should just read it and not question it. I didn't think trains flew, but okay. However, it is terrible at delicate work using its fingers. So that makes me question, because what is the point of having the 4 arms if you don't actually know how to use the 4 arms like your actual hands? It also says that he knows every... Let me read this Pokédex entry, if I can find it again. Man, I am great at this. Alright. Nope. Use my eyeball. I need my glasses. I think that would help, actually. Oh, Machamp is known as the Pokemon that has mastered every kind of martial arts. It grabs hold of the foe with its 4 arms. If it grabs hold of the foe with its 4 arms, the battle is all over. The hapless foe is thrown far over the horizon. Yeah, but how can it know every type of martial arts without actually knowing how to use its fingers and the delicateness, right? Because that's all what you do, is you learn how to use the grabs and the sweeps and the throws and all that stuff. So I'm questioning also because arms are weaker than legs. So really he should just have 4 legs, which the muscles are bigger in the legs anyways because they're carrying him, unless he really was supposed to be super strong, which then he would just handstand everywhere, and at that point then he wouldn't really be the same way as he's depicted all the time, is standing on his legs instead of on his arms. So I don't know how you would also manage to use those upper forearms, because the upper two arms, excuse me, because I know how I would use my normal two arms, but having arms that are kind of placed on my shoulders and just kind of, on the sides of my neck, they wouldn't have as much range or nearly as much strength, I'm sure. Like, what does he have? Like a spine, or is it just kind of floating there? Does he have like shoulder blades that go into like a singular, like, secondary spine that just kind of is held on by muscle, or is it an extension off of his normal spine, or what? Anyways, the point is that his arms can't really do too much because he doesn't have as much range on those back two arms. So really, if he's going to be running around picking up rocks and just moving them around all the time, then why aren't his arms facing the opposite direction? Because if he picks anything up that's as big as he is, right? Like, we have this problem too as human beings. If we pick up something that's in front of us, then it's in our line of sight. We can't see what's ahead of us if we're going to move something. So if he's going to move a big ass boulder, right, it would be easier for him to like pick it up behind him, so have his arms facing the other direction, at least the upper set of arms facing the opposite direction, so then he can actually carry it on his back and see where he's going to go. I think that makes a lot more sense. He also has this stupid belt, alright? They all have belts. And this applies to the stupid martial arts thing, too, because how is he supposed to know every type of martial art if they're all individuals of a species? It's not like they're just implanted into their brain, It's also not like these things just happen to grow belts on in the wild, or you can find Machoks at least in the wild, and they all have power belts on them. These belts are supposed to prevent them from having they're too strong otherwise. Essentially, they're supposed to limit the strength of these Pokemon. But if you were going to cheat, you could just remove his little underwear there, and then he would be a nude Machamp or a nude Machoke, and he would be stronger apparently because he has the strength of the embarrassment, I guess, in order to, or she, because they all look the same, which makes me question, because he does have pectorals, or she does have pectorals, and we, cover up the nipples, and so I'm pretty sure that Machamp has nipples, they just don't show them, or they're just the same color. But it makes me question, because there's not actually a difference in if you look at the male and female versions of Machamp or Machoke, they don't look any different. They just are the same thing. And there's no like bulge in the pants or the underwear power belt thing, and there's no nipples either. So it just, I don't know. It just makes me question, like what are you doing there? What is with the genders of these Pokemon? Not that I'm like curious or like really want to know, but you know what I mean. It's for the scholarship aspect of Pokemon, as I am a critical Cacturne. I am Cacturne that is hence critical. So I need to know for the sake of scientific documentation there. So he seems to have the normal amount of fingers as a human being does, which is very curious. He has 4 fingers and a thumb, which is pretty cool. His feet do not, though. His feet have 2 toes. It is 2 toes, and that's it. I'm questioning now why he has 2 toes. He looks kind of like a Ninja Turtle if you look at the bottom of him. Actually, you know what? If he didn't have you could pretty much just put a shell on him and you'd look like a Ninja Turtle. He loses his snout. Oh my gosh, he does turn into a duck. Holy crush, I'm looking at a Machoke right now, and the Machoke has like the snout section of his body. Machop doesn't have a snout. So he grows, and then his snout then disintegrates and then turns into a sneeze. Woof. A duckbill. That's questionable. Why would you turn into a duckbill? Oh well, doesn't matter. He has it's a very strange creature, Machamp is. And so I just kind of wanted to, talk a little bit about how he makes me feel. And so I wanted to share that with you. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making this video, and if you want more content like this, then yeah, you should like the video. I don't know, you should figure something out, I guess.